Welcome back to Medical Confessions.
I'm Jen.
I'm April.
I'm Scott.
We're transitioning to our podcasts, and we've been having a lot of conversations about what that looks like for us, whether we have to still talk to the camera in our YouTube audience, or if we can switch to our podcast format.
One of the suggestions we had was this rooster that you guys probably hear all the time.
And I think we've mentioned that before. Like, we started this as a fun project just for some coworkers and friends, and the best possible location was the tack room in my barn. In the background, you hear the farm noise going on. So we've got the Baymax rooster, that's what we call him, and he's very vocal. And for now months and almost a year now, we've been kind of ignoring him, but he's there. And so today your suggestion was
drinking game. Every time the rooster crows, we're going to take a drink. We're getting hammered.
Can't wait.
You can't wait to see.
Yeah, I love seeing you guys drunk.
We're getting hammered.
I love seeing you guys drunk.
Rooster crowed. So what are we talking about today?
We've been 30 days on, some of us have been on different diets for 30 days. And this has been the hardest 30 days of any podcasting. And the funny thing is one of our coworkers has been doing the keto diet.
Yeah.
Yay.
I know a ton of people that love it.
Right. Well, and so I was like, I'll do as this person does, because he's been doing it, and he's really just encouraging, and he's like, I feel focused. There's so much good stuff that's come of it, And I thought, well, it's a coworker who's going to be spending a lot of time, and maybe this will be good, like a support system. So I embarked on the keto diet. When I was first looking at it, I was thinking, this messes with your blood sugar levels, and ultimately it creates an environment where your body burns fat rather than carbohydrates for energy.
Correct.
Would that be yeah, okay.
Yes.
I didn't research the diet until we embarked on this, because I just took my coworker's opinion.
Yeah.
I'm so angry at him because he fell off the wagon while I was going through this 30 days. I found out that the history on it was actually epilepsy. Mm-hmm. So it was created to treat pediatric epilepsy.
Well, and it was originally, and so when you start using fat to burn or to make energy versus sugar, and the point is in the mitochondria, where you're making ATP, which is the molecule inside your cell that's allowing for all of the cellular transport of electrolytes and proteins and such. And if you use fat instead of glucose, you get increase in your GABA, your gamma aminobutyric acid, and which is that thing that's, when we're drinking, it makes us all floppy, and then you get a decrease in glutamate, which is an excitatory neurotransmitter. So if you get reduction in your neurotransmission, it's harder for them to fire off. Okay. So you're going to get decrease in seizures, and so that was the benefit there.
And it worked.
And it did work, and it still is for those true epileptics who aren't responsive to medication. The keto diet is recommended,
right? Because
it does help increase GABA, decrease that glutamate.
Well, and I read that it works really well in pediatrics.
Mm-hmm.
The keto diet is very difficult because it's very specific. When you look at the weight of the person, what you're trying to achieve, the amount of time, the calories are restrictive compared to what I was used to. So that was an issue. Mm. Additionally, the fat content was high compared to what I was used to. And I told you guys, I had a situation at work where we got super busy, and I had several hours where I didn't get to eat, and we had all got together in a break room, and there was nothing available to me in the break room that was technically on the allowable diet. I had a breakdown, had a moment where I freaked out and said the only thing I can eat is a pat of butter. I literally will take a chunk of butter, and that's all I can eat, and I needed it. I took this super serious, unlike others. I didn't have these huge withdrawals that I told I was good. I didn't have this carb, anger. I just constantly felt stress. I was always trying to figure out, what am I going to eat for my next meal? How am I going to get enough fat? And and the going from no diet to keeping track of every meal, getting my calories counted. I'm down 30 grams of fat and I only have 200 calories left and I can't eat peanut butter. Like that stressed me out. And so 30 days into it, my totals were, I started out at 136.8. And I always joke with people, like, I'm 137 pounds of thunder. Like, that is my happy, yeah. That's my happy weight. Like, without any work, without whatever, 137 is my pretty, like, my body's happy there, my clothes fit. And so after 30 days of nonstop torture, stress, misery, 134.6 was my outcome. Like, 2.2 pounds. I don't feel like the level of stress and heartache that I went through was appropriate to how much weight I lost. However, so April was kind enough to do my measurements. I had no weight loss in my waist. I had no weight loss in my arms, which are my two problem areas. I'm just a thicker, like, apple-shaped. But my legs and my hips both lost weight, which was disappointing because the hips also kind of encompass the booty.
Yeah.
I was like, I lost my squat booty. And my leg was a tiny bit skinnier, and there wasn't this, like, notable decrease. So I'm sitting here now 30 days into it going, where did I benefit from this?
I chose the 800-gram challenge.
Which I had never heard of until you brought it up.
Right. I heard it from a person that does CrossFit.
Right. Which surprises me because that's kind of my thing. So I would have thought that I would have heard of it.
Yeah. Again, I'd not heard of it either. I think it's a newer thing. It's just, the challenge is every day eat 800 grams of fruits and vegetables, and you can have whatever else you want aside from that.
Such a bull crud compared to what Scott and I went through.
Oh, yeah.
How long did you make it on your 800
Like
gram
A day and a
challenge?
half? Is that what I heard?
Like a week, maybe. I felt like, a total disappointment. And I also
want
got
you to
sick.
feel that way.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I want you to revel in the fact that you suck.
I did a week solid, and then I also got sick. And when I'm a huge baby when I get sick, and I'm like, I'm done. I don't even care. I'm going to be sick, and I'm going to complain about it, and I'm not even going to count anything. But then I just didn't get back on it after I was sick.
So one thing that I know that, April, you have been doing is you've been doing personal training.
Yeah.
Pretty consistently.
Yeah.
So you had kind of a non-notable amount of weight gain or loss, which I think is not a bad thing. But April, you are the only one that had consistent number loss on all of your measurements. So April, you lost 1 inch in your waist. Like, that's huge. And your arm, you lost 1/4 inch. Your leg, 1/4 inch. Your hip, 1 full inch off your hips. And your neck, 1/4 inch. Well, we haven't heard about how chubby you got.
I just chose a weight gaining diet, 4,800.
No, I think April and I chose that for you.
Well, somebody chose.
I think we forced that on you.
Yeah, you didn't
That's
need
true.
to lose weight.
No,
Yeah.
definitely
Well,
not the issue.
And I've always been really lean. I've been a cardio junkie pretty much my whole life. I've always loved to just do long cardio sessions, and so of course you're going to be lean. And so you guys decided you could make me fat.
Well,
and
I just wanted to see, like, how much of it is just your body's going to accommodate. Like, like, can we Americanize you? Are we going to just, like...
And you did, actually, because I feel like that it truly was the cardio junkie keeping me lean, because I reduced my cardio, increased the calories, and I got fat. What did I have to do? I had to eat 4,800 calories a day.
Yeah. Well, and to be fair, it was mostly supposed to be healthier calories.
What I was told was I had to get 150 to 180 grams of protein.
Right.
Oh, excuse me, and 4,800 calories.
Right. But can I just tell you that, like, friends and coworkers, like, we had people cheering to see what would happen to you when you were, like, everybody was like, how is he doing? Like, everybody was so excited.
And what happened? What is exactly what I thought would happen?
Okay,
My stomach got fat and nothing else changed.
Because you talked about, like, my family calls it the pie belly. Like, you kept talking about the pie belly.
It
right?
was. I could feel my stomach getting bigger.
But you were way more dramatic than what was reality. So Scott, you gained 2 inches and 1/4 on your waist.
I feel like I gained 2 inches.
So you were legit, like, you chubbed out a bit.
I got fat.
Your arm, 1/4 inch bigger.
And that's not muscle weight. That's not like you know, Mark Wahlberg awesome. This is like Santa not awesome.
Your hips, tiny bit, like not notable, and your neck, you gained a 1/4 inch on your neck.
Yeah,
So
I got a double chin.
So anyway, what I have read from all this is Scott and I went through hell for the majority of the 30 days. April tinkered a little bit, but then ultimately you changed your activity and overall kind of maybe mindful of what you're eating.
Right.
And you did better overall than I would say all three of us. You don't have the pie belly and you don't feel like lethargic and, you know, like I'm going to have a syncable episode at any given moment. Like at work, I was like very cognizant of, whew.
I think all of these diets have a place, but there's a very small percentage of the population that they have a place for. Like the keto diet, yeah, sure, if you're epilepsy, that's going to work. If you're a type 2 diabetic and you're going to your doctor and talking about why it's going to be good for you, yes.
Right.
But for the general overall population, these aren't great diets.
Yeah.
And they're horrible diets. And so if you just follow that everything in moderation and watch your calorie intake and exercise a little more, that's going to be way more beneficial for you long term.
I actually feel like I exercised less.
I know I exercised less.
Like I felt more like kind of weak and tired, and I usually get excited about working out, and I was actually like, I feel like with all of these diets or any diet in general, the sustainability is the most important thing. Like you can crash course for an event or, you know, but ultimately it's what works for your lifestyle and what makes sense for the way that, you know, what's going on in your life currently. Yeah.
So what we learned, everything in moderation, eat right, move more, and you're going to be fine.
Yeah, figure out what works for you.
Absolutely. Cheers to no diets. Well, if you like what you heard or saw today, check us out on our podcast on iTunes.
Or visit our website, medicalconfessions.com.
Yeah, and if you didn't like what you saw, give us some suggestions. How can we get better? If you like the fact that we drink every time the rooster crows, say that.
If you hated it, say that as well.
If we're just a really dog shit show,
say that.
Don't tell that to us because it hurt.
It cuts us deep. All right. Thanks for tuning in. All right, because we are recording.
Okay.
Oh, bloopers.
Bloopers. Uniboob. Really good. But
I got my uniboob going from my sports bra.
she wants me to feel bad for her. Oh, poor thing. It's so sad.
That's what's going on when I reach down and separate them.
Kind of see that.
Her uni.
Her uniboob.
She's
Her
sporty
cyclops
though.
boob.
She's sporty though. That's what matters. The problem is he got in his own head.
End of the day, I was just sweating thinking about
you
food.
smarted yourself sweaty. Like you were just like, oh, I know what's going to happen with my body right now.
Yeah, Canada, 64% overweight, 29% obese.
But they're happy.
Yeah.
They are. I love Canadians.
And they're nice.
They're so nice. They say sorry even when you run into them. I love it.
Someone actually at the airport yesterday was like, oh, are you from Canada? I'm like, oh.
Oh, I can see that. Yes, you do seem like a Canadian, you perky little freak.
I did poop before I came here.
Okay.
Do you guys
And
ever,
I was excited about it. I was like, yes, that might help.
do you guys ever measure yourself or weigh yourself before and after a really big bowel movement?
Because I don't even ever weigh myself.
Jen doesn't poop, remember?
That's true.
Don't remember diarrhea because honestly, this diet, my bowel movements, I was like the Dumb and Dumber guy, but not like diarrhea-wise, but just size-wise alone. I was like, what is this Coke can? Like,
Yes.
I am pretty sure that that's not
Normal.
the appropriate size. That should be, I mean, I should have a bowel obstruction, honestly, is what I felt like. And when
You
when
had
I,
such a mass quantity of food. I lost my squat booty. I lost my squat booty. I lost my squat booty.